Hey y'all, hey. So I think y'all are hopping on. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of minutes to tune in because guess what? I know I'm running behind, I'm late. It's been a crazy day. A crazy morning and early afternoon for me. I don't know why, but I have been extremely busy all day. And to tell you guys the truth, I'm exhausted. Hey Brent, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me on the 7 days of credit, right? I feel like I'm on tour or something, but I'm really not. I'm still here right in my house, sheltered in place, practicing social distancing. But I'm coming to you guys each day for 7 days so I can share with you all some tips and tricks for building excellent credit. So first thing I want to say to you guys is if you have a question, drop your question in the box below. Hey Tony, thanks for joining in. Drop your questions in the comments and I'm going to do my best to answer those questions. If I can't answer your question, then I'm simply just going to let you know that I can't answer it, but I'll get you an answer. Hey Deidre, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me. I'm waiting just a couple minutes so a couple more people can get in. I want you guys to do me a huge favor and share this video so other people can have access to this information. So I know that sometimes we don't get the opportunity to know or learn things without having to pay. So my whole purpose is to make sure that you guys are getting access to the information and you're getting it for free. So we don't always have to be concerned about how are we going to pay for this or be concerned about, I don't know the information. I don't know where I could possibly get information. Hey, Jeremy, thanks for coming in. You guys don't have to worry about that. We'll make sure that you get good information, quality information, and low to no cost, right? So right now I'm sharing the live out to a couple of groups that I have so I can make sure that my people are being fed this information too. And then I'm gonna get started. How's y'all's day going? How's your day going? Let me make sure you guys know if you have questions, drop it in the comments. I'm going to be sure to answer your questions. This is probably going to be a short live. It's not going to be very long. I want to give you guys the information and then let you guys move forward so you can start, working on your credit or whatever it is you're doing. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Taryn. Thanks for coming in. Thanks, Nicole, for sending me that quick reminder. So I usually do these lives for the 7 days of credit at 1 o'clock, but because I had like so much going on in my business and a couple other companies that I'm managing, I was not able to get on at 1 o'clock, but I said, okay, let me post and let them know that I'm going to go live at 3. Zion. Okay. So I posted to let you guys know I was going to go live at 3 o'clock. And then next thing you know, I got tied up on a phone call. And so I'm running behind. Hey, Audrey, thanks for coming in. So let me go ahead and get started with you guys. First thing I want to let you guys know, and I'm drawing out my little diagram for you guys. This is where we are. So... all right, so today we're talking about the age of your credit, right? Today we're talking about the age of credit. If you missed, hey Star, thanks for coming in. If you missed the other days, you will, let me recap for you. So first day, I just told you guys about the basics of credit, right? So everybody can just have a good foundation, a good starting point to know what we're talking about. And when I say basics, I mean basics, right? Like I did not get into too much technical information because I didn't want to confuse people who may be new at trying to handle their credit. Okay, so I made sure that I covered the basics, definitions, what is credit, what do credit repair companies do, that kind of information. Day 2, I talked about your payment history, right? Day 2, let me make sure that's what I talked about on day 2 because I've been moving around so much, I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the right information. I think I talked about payment history on day 2. I got my notes up here. Yes, I talked about payment history on day 2. Okay, so we know that the payment history is 35% of your score. Okay, if you didn't know that, now you know it. I'm letting you guys know payment history is 35% of your score. About 192.5 points is what your payment history comes out to be. Day 3, we talked about your utilization. Okay, so yesterday, that was day 3. We learned that utilization makes up 30% of your score. Hey, Denise, thanks for jumping in. If you guys have questions, drop them in the box. So utilization is 30% of your scores, which is equivalent to 165 points, right? 165 points of the 550 points that you have to play with. And I'm saying play with loosely, but that you have to work with, right? Now, today we're talking about the age of your credit, right? The age of your credit. So let's get into this. Age of credit, I like to draw little diagrams. It's 15% of your credit score. And just excuse my bad handwriting, but I'm going to tell it to you guys. The age of credit is 15% or 82.5 points, okay? 82.5 points. So between your payment history, your age of credit, and your utilization, that's a whole 440 points. Now listen, let me just point this out to you guys in case you didn't know. And I let you know that it's 440 points so you could be aware of something. If you manage all 3 of these sections perfectly, if you manage these perfectly, you still only have a credit score of 440. Hey, Jaleesa, thanks for coming in. You still only have a 440, and that's still horrible credit, right? So that's why it's important to make sure you're going after points in all these sections, in every arena that you can go after, because no one section is going to be the thing that blows you out the water. No one section is going to give you a 700 credit score or an 800 credit score. So today we're talking about these 82.5 points that you can get. All right, so payment history is your credit age, okay? I'm sorry. Age of credit is also known as your credit age, right? Or payment, like the history of your length of credit. Not payment history, but the length of credit. That's your credit age. Now, this is not determined by, if you guys have pen and paper, I want you to write this down. This is not determined by the years that you've had a credit card, okay? That doesn't mean, you know, you get a credit card for 5 years and boom, you got 5 years of history. Or you've had a credit card for 15 years and you have 15 years of history. No, 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 no. That's not what it means. What is calculated by is how many cards you have total and the length of history for each one of those cards. So let me show you guys an example. Okay, so let's say you got 4 cards. You have 4 cards, right? Hey, Nicole, thanks for coming in. These are your 4 cards. You have a Visa card, an American Express, a MasterCard, and a Discover card, right? So your Visa card, you've had it for 2 years. Your American Express, you've had it for 5 years. Your MasterCard, you've had it for 1 month. And your Discover card, you've had it for 9 months, okay? That's 4 different cards that you've had for 2 years, 5 years, 1 month, and 9 months, okay? Your age of credit is not 5 years. And I know a lot of people think that. A lot of people think, well, I've had a credit card for 15 years, so I have 15 years of credit history. That's not what FICO says, and that's not what the Bureau is looking at when they're reporting. FICO says that of these cards that you have, the 2 years, the 5 years, the 1 month, and the 9 months, you have to add that time together, which is essentially going to give you 7 years and 10 months credit history. Okay, 7 years and 10 months. That is 5 years plus the 2 years, that's 7 years. The 9 month plus the 1 month, That's 10 months. So you got 7 years and 10 months of history. Then, that's not it, right? That's not all. Then you take that 7 years and 2 months. Guys, share the video, because remember, I answer questions according to the video getting shared. So if I see it's being shared, then that makes me want to just answer questions for you guys. Okay, so then once you know that you have a total of 7 years and 10 months, you take that number and divide it by the 4 cards that you have. You have 4 cards, right? So that gives you, what happens is your credit history has shrank down. Why? Because you got that new card. You got that new card on there for 1 month. So when you see, let me see here. When you look at your credit history and you're like, why did I lose points? I just got a credit card, or I was just approved for something. Hey, Kiana, thanks for coming in. Hey, Junior, thanks for coming in. Hey, Carlos, thanks for coming in. I was just approved for a credit card. Why is it that my age of credit has gone down? I don't know how many of you use Credit Karma. I don't recommend Credit Karma, because we know the scores for Credit Karma are not accurate, okay? That's just a side note. But you can see your age of your credit on there, right? So if you know you've had 15 years and then you take and you add a new card all of a sudden, your age is going to shrink down. Why? Because it's an average. It's not just how long you've had a card. So be careful. The reason I said that, guys, is because I want you to be careful when you decide, you know, I'm going to get approved for a card today, and then 2 weeks from now, I'm going to apply for another card, and then a month from now, I'm going to apply for another card, and then 2 months, I'm going to apply for another card. You are shrinking down your age of credit, okay? You're shrinking that down, and when you shrink it down, it's not going to be beneficial to you, okay? So that's one thing I want to let you guys know. All right, here's the other thing. I know a lot of people have asked me this question. A lot of parents have asked me this question, and I've answered it when I do consultation, so I'm going to answer it here for you guys today. And the question is, when should I get started with credit? Like, when can my kid get started with credit? You know, what's the right age for a kid to get started with credit? I have some college kids that will ask, hey, you know, can I get a credit card now? So here's my thing. If you are already an adult, you need to get started now, because if you don't have any credit cards, well, you're losing points. You're losing access to that 82.5 points in that particular segment, right? You're losing access to that segment of points, and you don't want to lose access to those points. If you are 18, there's no better time than right now to get started. Now, what if you have kids and you want to know, when should I start my kids on credit? Well, this is the first thing I want to ask you. How are you managing and maintaining your own credit cards? Okay, because with kids, technically, you can start them at any age. You know, I will say, you know, 9, 10, but you do not want to destroy your child's credit. So if you're not good at managing your own credit cards, if you're paying late, if you have a couple of late pays on a credit card, if you max out your cards and you don't pay it all down, you know, let's say you have a $2,000 card, you spent $1,900 and the bill comes due and you pay that $25 payment. No, do not add your child to that card, right? If you have a $2,000 card and you spent $1,900 and then you go and you pay off $1,700, now you only have $300 left on that card. And you do that consistently, like not just a one-time thing, but constantly. That's what you do every month. That is what your habit is. Then yes, you're the type of person that can add a child to that card that's going to help to build history for them. So let's say you start at 10, by the time that child hits 18, they have a whole 8 years of history already, because they've been riding on your coattail for those 8 years on a card that you have been managing and maintaining excellently. Remember, the key word there is excellently. You do not want to add a child to a card, or add your kids or anybody you know to a card that does not have excellent payment history, that does not have excellent management, right? Excellent utilization, because remember, payment history is 35% of your score, right? 35% of your score, 192 points is payment history. So you don't want to add a child to a card that has horrible payment history. You don't want to add a child to a card that has a utilization that's high. Remember, that's 30% of your score, 165 points. And you definitely don't want to add a child to a card that that you yourself are just getting. There's no history on it. You want to make sure that it's an aged card. And what do I mean by aged? That means you've had it for some years. You've maintained it perfectly. Perfect. That's the way to do it. Guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop your questions in the box, in the chat box, and I'll make sure and answer those questions. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about, we're not going to go back. This is yesterday. Okay, that's yesterday's notes. All right, so let me tell you guys a good way to get started with your credit cards and your age if you don't already have this, if you haven't already done this. So let's say you're going to lay a foundation. In any house that we're trying to build, we always want to have a foundation, right? So the foundation that you're going to be laying is going to be 5. Okay, so it's a foundation of 5. And what I've done is I've written down, again, I like to keep some notes. I wrote down some notes here for you guys. I'm going to fold this so you can only see the part I'm talking about. So with the foundation of 5, hey Yvette, thanks for coming in. With the foundation of 5, you're going to build a foundation of 5 different cards, right? 5 cards. Okay? 5 cards with no annual fees. Not just 5 cards, because 5 cards, if you're paying, $100 annual fee, a $250 annual fee, a $500 annual fee, now you have to pay to keep those cards, to keep them open. And what if you're not the type of person to use it as often as you would like, or as often as you think? Well, you're paying fees for nothing. So you want to get 5 cards with no fees, right? No annual fees. That's what you want, okay? Not just 5 cards, because when you go to make a decision, when it comes down to, oh, I got to pay this $99 fee, I don't even use this card. Now your mind is telling you cancel the card. And I don't want you guys to cancel the card, because that's going to negatively affect your credit score. So you get 5 cards with no fees. Okay? Write that down if you're taking notes. 5 cards, no fees. Somebody put that in the comments for me, so if somebody comes in, they can kind of see where we are. 5 cards, no fees. All right, so the first card you're going to get, if you're just getting started with credit cards and you're just starting to try to build and establish credit, you're going to get a secured card, okay? If you don't know what a secured card is, it's a card that you get when you have money already to put aside. You take the money, you pay it on the card, kind of like a prepaid type thing, and whatever amount you put on the card is the amount of your credit limit. Some companies will, take out a processing fee or something, so you may have shortly under that amount. But for the most part, whatever amount you put on the card, thanks Kimberly for doing that for me. Whatever amount you put on that card is going to be the amount of your credit limit, okay? I'm going to drop a link in the comments when I'm finished, so you guys who are looking for a secured card can know, okay, I can click this link and get a secured card, and it's not going to be a ding on your credit, so you can get it without worrying about it's going to hit my credit. Okay, now let me tell you guys something. If I drop a link, this is going to be a card that I know you can get. They're not going to pull your credit. Here's the bad thing about, well, that's the good thing about that particular link. Now, if you want to go to your bank, you can go to your bank, whatever bank you bank with, and do a secured card with your bank. But just know they're going to pull your credit and they have the right to deny you. Okay? I know this for a fact. I have a client. I specifically told him, use this link, get this card. It's a secured card. And I sent him on his way. He called me back. That was a Friday. He called me back on the following Saturday. And this was the conversation. He was frantic. He said, Tanya. I'm like, what? He said, man, them people denied me. Now I'm puzzled, right? I'm like, what people denied you for what? I'm also trying to figure out, what are you applying for? Like, nobody told you to do that. So what did you apply for? What did you get denied for? He's like, yeah, man, them people denied me. I took my $500 and I went into my bank and I told them I want a secure card. I said, so now I'm just sitting on the phone like, in my head, I'm instantly thinking, this is not what I told you to do. This is not what my recommendation was. But go on, let me hear the rest of the story. So he's like, I had my money and they denied me. They pulled my credit and everything. So I just sat and I took a deep breath and I said, listen, if you would have followed the instructions that I gave you, you would have clicked the link and got the card that I recommended to you. I recommended that card because I knew they were not going to pull your credit and I knew you would get approved. I also knew that you run a risk of going to your bank and trying to get a secure card and them turning you down. See, most people think just because you have the cash, that's going to guarantee that you get a credit card, a secured card. That's not how it works. They're pulling your credit. If you have a 4-something, a 3-something, a 5-something, they may very well tell you no, even with your cash in your hand, right? So do not take that chance if you know you 9 times out of 10 will not get approved, okay? So first, get a secure credit card, right? That's the first card in your foundation that we're building, in the house we're building, right? We're building a house to establish credit, okay? Right now we're working on the foundation of the house, right? So get a secure card, okay? Then about 6 months later, now when you get the secure card, use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off. You want to do that for 5-6 months, right? 5 to 6 months, use it, pay it off. Hey, Kerwin, thanks for coming in. Hey, Cornelius, thanks for coming in. Hey, Pamela, how are you? How are you guys doing? Ask your questions in the comments, guys. So you want to use those cards, and once you use them, you want to pay it off. Every month, if you tuned in yesterday, you want to pay it on or before your statement close date, okay? If you didn't hear yesterday's live, there's a link on my page that's going to talk to you guys specifically about your utilization. And we're talking about when and how to pay your credit cards, because I know a lot of people think you just pay it when they tell you it's due. No, if you want to learn the true trick and tips and tactics to that, watch the video from yesterday. But make sure you pay the card monthly, the way it's supposed to be paid, pay it off, and 6 months later, then you go and get another card. Now, the next card you want to get is going to be a rewards bearing card. I know people are like, oh, I don't like rewards. It's going to take forever to do this. Womp, womp, womp. Whatever, right? I'm telling you these things because there are certain, I know a lot of people want to travel. They wish they could travel. They like the idea of being able to travel, but sometimes you don't have the money to travel. Well, guess what? If you're using your credit cards and you have the right credit cards, you can rack up travel points and you could be traveling for free. Like whining and dining, sitting on the beach somewhere, sipping virgin mimosas. I don't drink, so it's a virgin mimosa for me, but whatever you guys do, right? So get a rewards bearing card, okay? Then the next, you want to pay it off, the same thing. You want to keep it going with both cards. Now, your secured card and your rewards bearing card. Use them, pay them, use them, pay them, use them, pay them, right? And you're paying them off. Now, why am I saying pay it off? Because when you pay it off, you're not going to incur any interest, okay? So here's the trick to getting rid of your interest. If you're paying interest every month when you pay a credit card, that's because you're holding a balance on that card. Now, I tell people keep it down to like 1 to 3%, but the reason I say that is because even if you are paying interest, you're only paying it on that little small balance that you have. If you pay it off to zero, that's you, but know that alleviates you from paying any interest because you paid it off. There's nothing to pay interest on, okay? Then you want to wait, do that. This is building. This is not wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I got credit. This is building credit, and that's why I said you're going to pay it off, use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off over the course of 5 or 6 months. That's building a payment history for you. That is showing a lender that you can manage credit, right? And not just one card. Now you're showing them, I have the ability of managing and paying off multiple credit cards, right? Not just one. It's easy to do one card. It's nothing. But when you add in 3, now that's a little challenge, and that takes you strategizing and planning and managing your actual money, okay? So after you get your rewards card, then you may want to get a points card, right? Or a cash card, a cashback card. I know you guys see this. Sometimes you see points card, they're giving like 50,000 points or 100 and something thousand points, right? Or you may see, it's cash back. For every time I use my card at the gas pump, I get $2 cash back. Or I get $1 cash back. Y'all better use that card at the gas pump and pay it back with your money and rack those cash backs up, because guess what? At the end of that statement, you may have earned $50 worth of cash, $100, $300. Let me tell you guys what I do. On my card, on one of my cards, a Navy Federal card I have, I get $2, per whatever amount I spend, right, for cash back. Well, guess what? When Christmas time comes, I take that cash, and Navy Federal has like a whole portal with rewards, and I get gift cards. I can get Visa cards, Visa debit cards for $25, $50, $100, whatever I want. I can get cards to the Nike shoe store, GameStop, whatever. Get gift cards, and I just let those points add up, let the cash back add up, and that's how I can get gift cards. Even if I want to do giveaways, I have that cash on that card that's available, and I can turn it in and redeem it for rewards, right? So that's a good little trick that you guys can use if you're one of those people who likes to buy gifts for Christmas, but then you go Christmas broke like the day after Christmas, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to pay for all this? Save yourself the headache. Use your credit card. Let those points and dollars add up. When it comes time for Christmas, cash that cash in for whatever you want to cash it in for, and give those as gifts. You still paid for it. Hey, and who's going to turn down a gift card with cash on it? Not me. Okay, so you have your secure card. You have a rewards bearing card. Then you have a points card, and then you have a cashback card, right? That's 4 cards that you have. Then you get your 5th card. It could be whatever. It could be another points card, or another cashback, or another rewards, whatever you want, right? Another secured card, okay? This is tax season, guys. If any time of the year a lot of people have dispensable or disposable income, now is the time. Take that money, get you a secure card. It doesn't mean you can't use it. Start using the money on that secured card and paying it back. Now you have like a double win. You have your credit that you're building, and you also are building your payment history, a triple win. You're building your utilization, you're building everything. So be strategic with how you are spending your money. Don't just take your cash and, you want to buy shoes, you're going to go use your cash. You can get points for that. If you want to buy gas, you're going to go and use your debit card. If you're going to swipe a card anyway, why not swipe your credit card and then take your cash and put it on that credit card? Right? Take your debit card, make a payment to your credit card. Hey, you're winning at that point. Now you're being strategic with how you manage your money and how you handle your money. So that's our foundation of 5. We have built a foundation with 5 cards, right? Now, the next thing, let's talk about this. Let me give you guys a trick to add in history if you're trying to figure out, well, you know, I don't have a credit card, I'm 35, or I'm 45, or I'm 25, whatever the case may be, I'm not a child, you know, and I don't have time to build credit for 15 years. Let me give you a trick. And I know you guys already know this, but I'm going to confirm it for you and bring it to the forefront of your mind. If it's not confirmation for you, drop your questions, guys. Does anybody have any questions for me? So here's a trick to add some history, okay? Now, what history does for you, again, is it shows how well you have managed your money over a period of time. That's what history is doing, right? That's what the age is doing. It's showing how well you can manage your money over a period of time. So let me give you guys something that may be more practical. If you just got into a brand new relationship, you just got into a new relationship, right? You met your new boo, you just got married, or you met somebody and married them, or whatever the case may be. This is a new thing for you, a new friendship, new relationship, whatever the case may be. You don't know how that's going to fare out. Why? Because you don't have any history with that person, okay? So if you just got in the relationship, it may feel good, but it's not really good to tell you how it's going to be down the line. Like, you can't say in 5 years, oh, this is going to be great. You don't know that because it's brand new. That's the same way credit is. With your credit cards that are new cards, they don't know how you're going to handle those cards because they're brand new. But if you get in a relationship, if you've been in that thing for 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, however many years, even 3-4 years, now you have something to go back and say, well, let me look at the history of this relationship, and this is going to determine what you are now or how it's going now. Because now I have history with you, I can make a comment on how you will be. If I know for the last 5 years or 10 years you've been excellent, you've been perfect, you've been a stand-up man, you know, you've been a quality woman, you bring something to the table, I can just reasonably assume or make a reasonable guess that another 5 years with you is just going to be that much more glorious. That's how your credit is, and that's how credit cards are. If you have history with the company, they already know how you are, and they are more willing to work with you and give you higher points, right? They're giving you higher points because you've been in that thing for 5 years. You've been paying on time every month. You even pay it off most of the months, right? You don't carry a high utilization. Your payment history is good. Now your age is good. That's how you want to have your credit. So, history shows how well you've managed over a period of time. Now, let me tell you guys something. The trick, if you're trying to hurry up and get some history, is getting added on as an authorized user. Now, what does this mean? Hey, Eliza, thanks for coming in. What does it mean to get added on as an authorized user? This means that you might not have a card that has 15 years. But depending on who your circle is or who your people are, you may know somebody well enough to know, you know those people who have good credit history, right? Like, they just have a look about them. They move freely, you know, they manage their money well. You know those people personally. I'm not talking about strangers. I'm talking about people you know. Your sister, your cousin, your mama, your daddy, your brother. Those people, okay? They probably have an excellent history. They've had a card since they were in college. They've maintained and managed that card. They paid their bills on time every time. They're not paying something on a bill. That's the person, okay? You may ask them, hey, listen, I have a huge favor, a huge request of you. Is there any way possible that you could, first you want to find out, do they have a credit card that has some good history on it, right? It could be 5 years, you know, it could be 3 years, whatever. It has good credit history. I personally like, 15 years. Like, that's what I like. If I see somebody with 15, 20 years, oh yeah, that's good history. So you say, first you find out if they have a card. If they do, you say, listen, I have a huge favor. I know that, maybe my credit has messed up. If they know you and they know you have, shirked off your responsibilities and your money, then you definitely want to be serious when you have this conversation, and you just let them know, I'm trying to do something different in my life. I'm trying to establish and build my credit. I really need your help. I don't want a card from you, but is it any way possible you can just add me on your card as an authorized user? Okay, think about it. Don't answer me right now. Think about it. That's what you want to do. You want to give people a time and a chance to think, right? If they really want to do this. And if they ask you, well, what does that mean? If they don't know, because a lot of people just don't know, you tell them, well, you just call your company, your Visa card, call Visa, Discover, MasterCard, whoever, your bank, whoever the card is with, and say, I want to add an authorized user to my card. And what they're going to do is get your name, your social, and add you onto that card. Then you tell them, I don't want the card. You keep the card, okay? You keep the card so that way you can be assured, that I'm not going to spend any money on your card. I won't be able to charge anything, right? That's going to give you the history of that person's card for as long as they've had it. Now, here's the thing. Let me caution you guys. And believe it or not, I wrote down caution on my paper, okay? I wrote down caution. See that? Because I wanted to caution you guys. I want to caution you when you're going out to get added onto somebody's card, you want to make sure they have managed their card well. You do not want to get on the card where somebody has had late payments, their card is maxed out every month, and they don't pay it all the way down. And I don't mean pay it down halfway. 50% is a no-go, okay? Paying down, if you owe $1,000, they pay $500 every month. No, that's not what you want. You want the person who's carrying maybe a 1 to 3% balance, 1 to 9%. I talked about the percentages yesterday as well too. So make sure you guys go and look at that other video that's posted on my page. It's actually a YouTube video. So you're going to have to click and go into YouTube and watch that video if you want to see it. But we talked about the different percentages that you want to be paying, or be in that level so you can make sure your credit is maintained. But anywhere up to 9%, is what you want to do. Personally, I prefer 1 to 3%, unless I'm trying to avoid paying the interest, then 0% if that's the case. Okay, so now here's the other thing. As an authorized user, you have to know that they may have perfect credit now, but what if this person falls on hard times? Like, what happens if they miss paying their bill, or if they lose their job and they can't pay the bill? You're on that card. I actually had to have a couple of my clients to get off of people's authorized cards as authorized users. Why? Because the card was weighing their credit scores down. It wasn't doing them any good. They were on cards that were maxed out, cards that had late payments. That is not the way to do it. Hey, Cornette, thanks for coming in. That's not the way to do it. Like, you want to make sure that you're only as strong as your weakest link. Just remember that. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So if you're on a card that's a weak link, that's just how strong you are. But if you're on a card that has a strong link, is the good steel metal, guess what? Now you're strong. So make sure, if you choose to become an authorized user, if you find that person, make sure that you're prepared to take that responsibility of one or two things. Either you're going to get off the card, or you're going to pay the bill for them if they can't pay it. Because remember, it's affecting your credit too. And if it affects your credit, you're responsible, right? You have to be responsible. So, guys, I haven't seen any questions come through. I have not seen any questions come through. Hey, Jay, thanks for coming in. Hey, Valerie, how are you? You guys, do you have any questions? I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to ask any questions you may have. I think we have been live for almost 45 minutes, and I usually cut it off at an hour, so I'm not going to keep it longer than an hour. If you guys have questions, now is the time to ask those questions. I'll answer your questions if I can. A couple of things just to let you know. One, if you haven't checked your credit scores, you guys should be doing that regularly, especially if you're going to start trying to fix and repair your own credit. You should check your credit scores regularly. And what I'm going to do is post a link that you can use to pull your credit scores. Remember, we do not want to rely on scores by Credit Karma. That's just a no. That's not going to work. We want to get scores that are going to be accurate. If they are not perfect and in line with the FICO score, they're pretty close to it. That's what we want, right? So make sure you're not using Credit Karma to pull your scores. You don't want to rely on that. Let me see. I'm posting a link here for those of you who want to pull your score. So that's one. Also, I have a link for the DIY guide. That's already in the title. In the title of this video, there's a link for my new DIY guide that is pre-released right now. It officially releases on the 4th. It's on sale right now. So if you want to get the DIY guide, now is the time to do it. You don't want to wait until the 4th because the price goes up. So let's see. Valerie has a question. Paying your credit card in full, does that make your credit rate go up, or should I pay a portion to show payment history? Will you provide links for rewards bearing cards? So, 2 questions. So the first question for Valerie, does it make your credit rate go up? I'm assuming you mean your credit score. Or should I pay a portion to show payment history? So those things do 2 different things, Valerie. If you're paying your card off in full every month, then what you're doing is saving the interest. You're not paying any interest on the card, okay? That will make your score go up. But it's like a catch-22. You can either pay it off or you can pay it down to a certain percentage. I prefer to keep the card anywhere from 0 to 9%, right? 1 to 3% is the sweet spot, because I feel like you get the biggest score increase when you're doing that, and you get to show a lender that you can actually maintain paying over time. If you pay it off every month or you max it out and pay it off, that doesn't mean you can manage money. If I were looking at it and I wanted to be critical, I could say, well, they just came into a lump sum of money and they paid it off. That doesn't mean you can pay a bill like on time every time, right? And it's a danger in maxing out cards and paying them, at the last minute. So we talked about that in one of the other videos. Jay, what's your question? Oh, okay. So that answers that question for you, Valerie. Why does it take so long for the credit score to update? So here's the thing. Your scores, actually, it doesn't take long, Jay. What's taking long is whoever you're using, how often they report it, right? So if you want to get the free version on Credit Karma, then you're going to get a monthly update, right? And you can't do anything about that. Credit scores are actually updating all through the day, like hour on hour, day by day is changing. And I know that personally, because there's one particular company you can use to pull your score, and you can literally see it every day. Like, it'll show you what has changed and how much points it's gone up and gone down according to what you have done. So if you're using Credit Karma, you're going to get monthly reports. The Bureau has already updated it. Credit Karma just isn't reporting it to you except for once a month. If you're using Identity IQ, which is one that I love, I have a link for Identity IQ if you guys want to use them, but I prefer Smart Credit, which is the link I posted. You can get either monthly or bi-monthly. So that means you can get your score pulled either 1 time a month or 2 times a month, Now, if you want to see your score, and for Smart Credit, you're probably going to pay about $20, $25 a month in order to have access to that. If you really want to be big balling and you want to know what your score is every day, you want to see how it's changing day by day, then you would use myfico.com. MyFICO is going to show you daily updates and changes. Now, let me caution you on using my FICO. I only recommend my FICO to my clients who are getting ready to purchase a home, purchase a car, whatever, and they want to know their true FICO score. Then I tell them, hey, go pull my FICO. Let's see what your score is there. And then I green light them on whether or not they can move forward with whatever their goal is. But here's the thing about my FICO. It's equivalent to stepping on a scale every day. Now, why do I say that? You guys know how it is. If you're trying to lose weight, or guys, if you're trying to build muscle and you get on that scale one day and let's say it says, you know, give me a number, 240 pounds. Then you get on it the next day, it says 238 pounds. Oh, you excited, right? Because you lost 2 pounds. Then you get on it the next day, it says 236 pounds. Oh, now you're really excited because you lost 4 pounds. But then by day 3, you get on and it says 239. Now you're looking like, oh my God, what happened? I gained 3 pounds. I know, ladies, you guys can relate to this. I don't know about the fellas, but I know women, we can relate to this. If you get on a scale every day, it begins to affect you mentally. Like, you're like, what happened? Now you're thinking, I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to drink. What did I do yesterday? Why did I gain 2 pounds? But if you're losing, it's all good. If you're gaining, you're emotionally affected by that. So if you're going to use my FICO, just be ready for your feelings to be toyed with. Your emotions are going to get played with. I know personally, because I'm one of those people that I check my credit score regularly. And I check other people's. When people are my clients, I'm checking because I want to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and they're not doing anything that's going to defeat the work that I'm doing, okay? So to answer your question, it doesn't take long to update. It just depends on who you're using to get the report of that update. All right. Will you provide links for rewards bearing cards? I will provide, I have a PDF that I give to some of my clients, and I actually have 2 videos that are going to be coming out. In those 2 videos, they're on YouTube only though. That one is for people who are trying to establish credit and they're looking for credit with already bad credit, so cards they can get with poor credit or challenged credit. And then another one is for those of you who are, your credit is pretty decent. What are the top 5 cards you can get to start, you know, elevating your credit, but you already have pretty decent credit. So that's 2 videos that's going to be posted on my, hush, go, you know I don't play with you. Sorry, y'all, my dog is barking. He coming in here trying to get attention. He don't know who I'm talking to. That's what's going on. So he probably sitting there thinking like, she is losing her mind. She's sitting here talking to this camera. But anyways, that's going to be 2 videos. So one is going to help those of you who have challenged credit and you want to get credit cards. And the other one is going to help you if you have pretty decent credit and you want to get credit cards. And there'll be links to each one of those in those 2 videos. Awesome, Jay. Good, good. The Identity IQ is a good one to check your score with. They're pretty close to my FICO. You can kind of rely on those scores. But again, remember, I think I have a video already on this, the difference between your FICO score and the FACO scores, okay? I don't know if it's live yet, but I have videos that I just haven't released to the public on my YouTube page. So I'll probably be releasing those along with the credit card ones over the next couple of days or week or so. Let's see who else has a question. I think that's all the questions. Let me just recap for you guys, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this live. One, we have talked about your age of credit today. Remember, that's 82.5 points that you can get just by making sure that you have a good credit age. Remember, age is not determined by how long you've had a card, but by how long you've had all of your cards and averaging those cards out, dividing by the number of cards. The best time to get credit is now. So if you're grown and you want to start, you know, establishing credit, then you can start doing that now. If you have kids and you already have excellent credit, start establishing their credit now. My kids already have like credit. They don't know they do. They probably know now if they're in this room with me somewhere. But when they turn 18, they're going to get access to that. Now, honestly, I'm scared because I don't want them to go screw it up. But who knows? You know, better to screw it up at 18 than 35. So, and when you do that, guys, just go back and listen to the video if you're just joining me, because I talked about kids and credit and adding credit to kids. The trick to having or getting quick history is by getting yourself added on as an authorized user. But make sure you listen to the rest of this video, because I told you who not to use as an authorized user as opposed to who you can use. I'm going to drop links. One is already in the comments. That's the link to, if you want to get your credit scores pulled, you can use that link to pull your scores. If you're looking to start building your own credit and you just want to know how to do it, I have the Credit Life 2.0, the complete do-it-yourself guide to establishing and building your credit. That is available now. It's on pre-sale. On the 4th, the price goes up. So now is the time to grab that book. The link for that is in the top section, and it'll also be in the comments. And then I'm going to let you guys know if you missed yesterday. So yesterday I tried to go live on YouTube. That was my first time going live on YouTube. I was so excited. Only thing I didn't like about YouTube was I couldn't see anybody commenting. I couldn't see anybody talking. It was no interaction. So I was talking to myself. And I was feeling a little funny about that. But I still posted the video for you guys. Check out that YouTube video. Like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Because after these 7 days, that's where all my videos are going to be. Unless I just want to do something else. I may be doing another credit, maybe 30 days or something like that. It's so much information that I want to share. If you guys are looking for someone to help to repair your credit, and you're not the type of person that's going to do it yourself, but you want a reputable country, schedule a consultation with me, a free consultation. When you schedule your free consultation, you're going to pay $1 to get an analysis that's going to break down everything that's wrong with your credit. That $1 analysis is worth $400. So make sure, you know, don't trip over $1. Thank you guys so much. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tanya Edwards. I'm the CEO and founder of Savvy Credit Consultants, and I look forward to helping you build your credit across all 3 bureaus. Have a blessed rest of the day. Bye-bye.